this section we will be talking about the future. We use the future tense to express will, as in I will go tomorrow, or they will study at 4 o'clock. Verb conjugation endings are added to the end of the verb, and we'll take a look at some examples real quick. Notice iré, mañana. We're using the verb ir with some ending at the end of it, so we're not changing the actual verb itself, just adding to it. On this one, yo comeré luego. Again, the verb comer is in there, we're just adding a form to the end of the verb. Hablaremos luego. Hablar is in there, we're just adding to the end of the verb. Notice how usually we take the AR, the ER, or the IR off and change it to something else. This time we're leaving it on and adding to it. Okay, so here are the forms. Let's take a look at the verb contar, which is to count or to tell. So we have contaré, contarás, contará, contaremos, and contarán. Alright, you'll notice that we have a mix between AR and ER and IR endings. We have an E, and then an AS, an A, an EMOS, and an AN. So that's a little tricky, but interesting to note is that you don't have to, these stay the same for AR, ER, and IR verbs. So as, a, hemos, and an. The yo and the nosotros both have an ER or an IR ending, whereas the tú, usted, and ustedes forms all have AR options or endings. Okay? So those are the endings for future conjugations. Study those and memorize them. There are some exceptions to consider as well. We'll take a quick look at those here. Before we dive into the irregulars, the future can be expressed with a phrase using ir, okay, or with a future conjugation. Consider the following. Okay, what we just looked at, when we add the conjugation to the end of the verb, it expresses will, as in I will call. Alright. We can also express the future with the verb ir. So voy a llamar expresses I am going to call. So I am going to do something versus I will do something. So if you've forgotten how to, the conjugations for the verb ir, they are voy, vas, va, vamos, and van. Again, those can be used to express the future tense, I'm going to do something. Otherwise, if you want to express will, we will use those conjugations here. So exceptions, conjugation exceptions to watch out for. We've got the verb decir. I'm just going to introduce each verb and read through their conjugations. So we have the verb decir, which is to say. Diré, dirás, dirá, diremos, and dirán. We have the verb hacer, which is to do or to make. Haré, harás, hará, haremos, and harán. Poder, can or able to. Podré, podrás, podrá, podremos, podrán. And poner, to put or to place. Pondré, pondrás, pondrá, pondremos, pondrán. We have the verb querer, which is to want or to love. Querré, querrás, querrá, querremos, and querrán. We have the verb saber, to know, facts or pieces of information. Sabré, sabrás, sabrá, sabremos, and sabrán. Salir, which is to leave. Saldré, saldrás, saldrá, saldremos, and saldrán. Just a quick reminder, all of these forms mean somebody will do these things. So for example, saldré, I will leave, you will leave, he, she, or you will leave, we will leave, they will leave. Tener is to have. Tendré, tendrás, tendrá, tendremos, and tendrán. And venir, to come. Vendré, vendrás, vendrá, vendremos, and vendrán. So that's basically it for the future tense. Study these verbs, their meanings, and the conjugations. All right. That is the future tense.